Sahaviryam karavavahai.
Sahaviryam karavavahai.
Tejasvinavadhitamastu.
Tejasvinavadhitamastu.
Ma vidvishavahai.
Ma vidvishavahai.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
So we have completed that section. Then in the next section we will go to the fourth shloka of next section, that is 2.2.4. Asya Visram Samanasya. Asya Visram Samanasya.
Asya Visram Samanasya.
Sharirasthasya Dehinaha.
Sharirasthasya Dehinaha.
Dehad Vimucyamanasya.
Dehad Vimucyamanasya.
Kimatra Parishishyate.
Kimatra Parishishyate.
Etadvai tat.
Etadvai tat.
Dehi is the Atma who resides in the Deha. Deha is the body and Dehi is the Atma. Dehinaha means for the Dehi, for the Atma. Here there is, it can be interpreted in two manners. That is, Nachiketa's question is what happens when the body falls. So, Visram Samanasya, this is a very special word. It means that Arjuna Kandivam Samsate Hastat, it is like that, slipping off. So one meaning is that when the body is slipping off, that Atma is getting detached from the body, that means the body is falling off. That is the common easy meaning. Dehad Vimucyamanasya, thoda volume badava na. Dehad Vimucyamanasya, when it is leaving the body, Kimatra Parishishyate, what remains for the body? The body becomes only that inert object. That is shifting the whole importance from the body to the real living spirit. That is the whole sadhana, is to shift our focus from the gross to the subtle. Gross body is seen by everybody, even breathing, everything, the prana is felt by everybody. But this consciousness is the thing always we are missing. So, to have this, to finally have the perfection, we have to shift the focus from all gross things to the real consciousness. That is the point. Now, other than thinking of the body also, from sadhana perspective also it is very important. We have to understand the word Visram Samanasya. That is, the mind, the consciousness is always holding on to the multiple objects, either the external objects or the internal objects, then thoughts, etc. Suppose you are meditating, your hold will be on the thoughts. You may not see the other objects, you may be externally, you may not get disturbed if you sit in a closed room, silent room. But your mind will be always focusing on what am I doing, is it meditation, is it samadhi, am I thinking, am I thoughtless? These are all thoughts. But we try to detach ourselves from the thoughts, from the objects. That is, when we try to detach, every time what happens? Again, to locate the Atma, we again hold on to it and make it an object. Always we are making it an object. That is the real difficulty we have in locating the Atma. Because from birth we are habituated in seeing everything as an object before me, gross or subtle. The thought also, I am knowing the thought, so I am the knower, and the thought is the knowledge. We are knowing the thought, it is an object, it is a subtle object. So that tendency, as we, then who am I? Who am I? You go inside, you will find that the Atma is slipping off from there. Always you are making the Atma an object. Is it not? Because that I am the Atma, this doesn't come easily. Unless you simply forget the whole world, including your own egoistic identity. Everything is forgotten, then the Atma will reveal itself. Till then, we are always that Atma as if it is slipping off and holding on to the object, holding on to the object. Our attention is going like that. So, when we are finding out this, then the real consciousness, then what happens? We understand that the whole universe we are interacting with is appearing in that Atma. External objects are there, but are we really interacting with the external objects? Until they appear in my consciousness, I will not interact with them. So really speaking, I am interacting with the objects as it appears in my consciousness. Is it not so? So when that consciousness you detach from the objects, then nothing is there. Only the consciousness is there, because the objects are all appearances in that consciousness. So when this Vishramsa Manasya, when you are able to slip it out from the Deha and the objective association, then nothing is left. The whole object association, objects, reflection of the objects, everything is gone, the Atma remains. You get it? As long as in the Atma any object is appearing, our focus is on the object. So Atma is not that I am making the Atma an object and trying to look at the Atma as, but this can never be. I am the looker, I am the seer, I am the knower, who is the Atma. That Atma we cannot see as different, but our practice is such that every time the Atma will recede from us, slip up like that, because our way is to find it out as an object. But when the Atma reveals, then the whole objective universe was appearing in that Atma. That mystery gets resolved. And they all become the consciousness alone. All other things are gone. So, kim atra parishishyate. What else remains? Only that etadvaitad. This is a great shloka in that sense. In the death sense also it can be interpreted that when the body falls, nothing is there. But then it will not mean much. From the sadhana point of view, this is the meaning. That you try to locate, but our very effort is that we are not able to disidentify it from the objects. Repeatedly we are holding because we are trying to see the Atma. We are trying to see the Atma as an object, as different from me, which is the mistake. The moment we are able to isolate it, then the whole universe, including my body-mind complex which was appearing in the Atma, everything becomes Atma alone, there is nothing else, no objective association, nothing. So that is the Atma, etadvaitat o Nachiketa. Vishramsa Manasya they have used because it is as if every time you reach it slips off, goes beyond. In the school I had written an article, I think Meenakshi may know, on a blue paper. Nobody is able to find out that article. This step I had written there, Puritosh Bhattacharya, our teacher, so he wanted to have some, whatever we are writing and all. He used to call me Praveen Babu. Na? That Praveena means Praveen Vyakti. That means Praveena means old. I was in class 10, he was in high school or in school? High school. Class 10, 11 something, I don't remember now. So this Vishramsa Manasa, that I am trying to find out the I, but it is always slipping off, that was the matter of the article. I remember still the blue pad, I had ruled paper on which I had written this article, and I had given him to read. So he made some comments on that and all. I mean, that first of all, he completely disapproved of my thinking in that manner. That was the problem. So this is what it is. Now in Ashtavakra you will find Yadi deham prithakritva chiti vishramya tisthasi adunaiva sukhi shanto bandhamuktaha bhavishyasi. This is another, it is called instant liberation process. That is, like this, if you think that I am not the body, that is, you are able to finally detach yourself from the body-mind personality complex. The moment you are able to detach, then immediately you will have the infinite expanse and no objective association at all. You will become free. Yadi deham prithakritva, if you can disassociate the body, chiti vishramya tishtasi, at that point there cannot be any thought. Because the thoughts are, as long as thoughts are there, objective association will be there normally. Until you know the truth. If you know the truth, then in the thought also you see the Atma alone. That is different. Until then, the mind has to be quietened, and you have to detach the whole thing from the consciousness from the body. That is, thinking that I am not the body, I am not the body, I am the seer of the body. I am the witness, I am the witness, I am the witness. That if you try to meditate on, and the moment it gets separated, adunaiva sukhi shanto bandhamukto bhavishyasi. Right then, when you can detach it, you will become sukhi, happy, because there is nothing to cause unhappiness. Shantaha, absolutely quiet, and bandhamuktaha, you will become free also, because this body association is causing all the bondage. There won't be any bondage at all. But this kind of effortful detachment will not become permanent. The moment that effort gone, again you will be caught in the body, and all the nonsense you are doing, again start doing everything. To get rid of all the problems of life, you have to have the Advaya Jnana, the final knowledge of the non-dual knowledge of the universal Atma. Just by an experience it will not happen. Even Atma Sakshatkara, it can happen by Guru's grace right then also. In no time, momentarily it can happen. By Guru's grace, when we say, it is not just by Guru's grace. Guru is having the grace always, but it is a preparation of the disciple also. If the Adhara, that is the disciple, is a mature soul, prepared soul, then by Guru's touch or Guru's grace it will happen. That you may have the Atma Sakshatkara, but that is not the self-knowledge. That Sakshatkara means it is a sort of a Nirvikalpa Samadhi. But when you come out of it, again you will be in the same soup. Until your mind becomes pure, until your buddhi becomes pure, that purity is the must for having any permanent solution. Until the purity is had, permanent solution will not be there. Atma Sakshatkara will be there. If go closer to the saints and all, you will find unless the knowledge is fully there, they will have many problems. We don't come to know because we don't interact in close quarters. There will be the problem until the mind gets completely freed of all the ashuddhi, all the truth, that holding on to the gross things. Asya visram samanasya sharirasthasya dehinah dehad vimucyamanasya kimatra parishishyate etadvai tat. Acha, you can write down Ashtavakra 1.4, that Jadi Deham Prithakritva. And similar mantra is there in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 4.5.13 and 14. 4.5.13 and 14. Brihadaranyaka. I don't have the mantra here, so just note down. One more shloka from this section we can do. That is the 8th shloka you go. Same chapter, same section, 8th shloka. Ya esha supteshu jagarti
य एष सुप्तेषु जागर्ति
kamam kamam purusho nirmimanaha
कामं कामं पुरुषो निर्मिमाणः
tadeva shukram tadbrahma
तदेव शुक्रं तद्ब्रह्म
तदेवामृतमुच्यते
तदेवामृतमुच्यते
य एष सुप्तेषु जागर्ति
य एष सुप्तेषु जागर्ति
कामं कामं पुरुषो निर्मिमाणः
कामं कामं पुरुषो निर्मिमाणः
तदेव शुक्रं तद्ब्रह्म
तदेव शुक्रं तद्ब्रह्म
तदेवामृतमुच्यते
तदेवामृतमुच्यते
तस्मिल्लोकाश्रिताः सर्वे
तस्मिल्लोकाश्रिताः सर्वे
तदुनात्येति कश्चन
तदुनात्येति कश्चन
एतद्वै तत्.
एतद्वै तत्.
So he is giving various hints to sadhana, that how to trace it, various they have given so many, we are reading only a few of that. He says that ya esha supteshu jagati kamam kamam purusho nirmimanaha. That is, even when the senses are asleep, this purusha, this consciousness, go on creating newer and newer world depending on our desires, the desireful world. In dream, it is going on creating the different worlds. This is that purusha who is the consciousness who is creating according to our desire the world when the indriyas are, when the sense organs are asleep. That is, dream actually gives us a real hint to what is happening. In the dream, what is happening? The whole thing is appearing in the consciousness. Even if it's a huge palace or galaxies or anything, that can appear in the, and immediately it goes also. Now, in the daytime also, when we are wakeful also, is it not the whole universe is written in the consciousness only? It is made of that consciousness. So whether it is dream or whether it is the wakeful, both are made in the consciousness. Forget about the external world is there or not. External world is there, but external, internal, we are saying that the whole universe, of which my body, mind, personality is also a small object there. The whole thing is appearing in the consciousness. So we have to understand that the reality is right, it is written on the consciousness. Just as you write here, dog or God, the both are air. Like that, everything is consciousness alone. That hint we get from the dream, that in dream, whatever we are seeing at that time, that is real. You have created a dream body for yourself, and that body is interacting with the dream objects. Everything is real at that point. Only after getting up, you are seeing that no, it was a dream. If we think of our perception, the perceptions are also like that. Only it is a general perception, it is not an individual perception. Why general? Because the entire universe, including all the people we are seeing, everything together with my own body-mind complex also is appearing in that consciousness. Everything is made of that consciousness. So he says that this is how the Purusha is making everything. Actually it is not making, it is just by, we call it Sankalpa Shakti or Jnana Shakti. Just by thinking whatever the Supreme Purusha thinks, it happens. It appears to be like that. So he says that this Purusha is going on making worlds even when the sense organs are asleep. Actually the sense organs are also the product of this Purusha only, consciousness only. He says, Tasmin lokaha shrita sarvehe. Sarve lokaha tasmin ashritaha. The entire, all the lokas, you think of the heaven, this loka, antariksha, swarloka, the earth, anything, whatever is there in our mind, in our concept, everything is having the refuge in that consciousness alone. Just now what I said, is it not so? So everything is ashrita in that consciousness. Shritaha means ashritaha sarve, is hosted by that consciousness. Tadu natyeti kashchana, nothing can surpass it. Because whatever we think God is a concept of the mind. It is appearing in that consciousness. Think of the huge galaxy, black hole, everything is concept of the mind. It is a concept of the mind. Although it is external to our body, that whole universe, including our body-mind complex, is appearing in that consciousness. So he is trying, it is the most difficult part to go to that kind of an inversion where this becomes a reality. So they will go on telling the same thing from different angle. When they are saying that tadu natyeti kashchana, nothing can surpass it, all the lokas are hosted in that alone. We understand the vastness as well as smallness, everything is only our concept, and we have to transcend the mental concepts. Etad vaitad, this is the Purusha, this is the truth, Nachiketa, you have asked. So it is not a question of the body falling or body getting born. It is always everywhere, it doesn't change, it is always there, in which the whole universe is sustained. Agniryathayiko bhuvanam pravishto,
Agniryathayiko bhuvanam pravishto,
Rupam pratirupo babhuva,
Rupam pratirupo babhuva,
Agniryathayiko bhuvanam pravishto,
Agniryathayiko bhuvanam pravishto,
Rupam pratirupo babhuva,
Rupam pratirupo babhuva,
Ekastatha sarvabhutantaratma,
Ekastatha sarvabhutantaratma,
Rupam pratirupo bahischa.
Rupam pratirupo bahischa.
He says that the Agni, the fire, that means energy, you can say. Heat, energy, Agni. Bhuvanam pravishto. It is entering in the object and getting manifest as the various forms. See, even water also, when you are putting in the different glasses, it is taking that shape. But in case of energy, fire has become the whole universe. The energy, without energy, no creation can take place. Even the elementary particle, it's a concentrated energy only. That energy, when it is manifest as the whole universe, it is taking the different forms. Just as I said in the night, that the electricity is appearing manifest as the light, as the sound, as the motion. It is the same electricity which is manifest in different forms. That means the electricity as if is taking the different forms. Rupam bahurupa bahuva. It is having all the different forms. Like that, the energy as it is manifesting as the different world, the world objects, it is taking all the different forms. Energy doesn't have any form at all. The electromagnetic wave doesn't have form. Even about light also, you may not think deeply. Light cannot be seen, do you know? You can see objects by the light, but light is an inference. Suppose light is seen, then when you go to the space, from sun the light is coming. You should see the light. But why the space looks dark then? Everywhere there is sunlight. Unless there is an object like the space ship is there, immediately it's bright like a star, or any planet bright like a star. In the atmosphere, the air molecules are scattering the light. That is why the smoke or the air, blue sky, you are seeing blue. It is because the air molecules are scattering the light. But when the light is coming from the sun to the earth and in between there is no object, it's all dark. Light is not seen. We see the object and say that that is the light. Real light is never seen. You are not able to imagine that. It is a fact. So in physics there are different model theories also. One is the light as if like a wave, it is coming, wave or whatever, as an electromagnetic wave, it is coming from the sun or from the source to the objects. That is one theory. Another theory is that action at a distance. That is, we are just seeing the light is in the sun and something is responding here. There is nothing like a wave coming. The two are, one is responding to the other. You cannot say which is true and which is wrong. You can see in terms of various models, because light is an inference. The wave, that light is coming in the form of wave, is a model that our mind has found out. He says, Agnir yatha, ekaha agni yatha. Agni is one only, that is, energy is one only. Bhuvanam pravishte, through the bhuvana, through the lokas, rupam rupam pratirupo bahuva. It is manifesting as different colors, different forms, different objects. Ekas tatha sarva bhutantaratma. Like that, all the bhutas, there is only one Atma. There is no many Atma, multiple Atma at all. Ekas tatha sarva bhutantaratma. Like that, whatever we are seeing, all the beings, there is Antaratma, and we are thinking the Antaratma is hosted in the being, it is in the body, so it is different, it is fragmented. This Atma and that Atma are different. No. He says it is the same Atma which is manifesting as the different beings. To make for us easy to contemplate that how the whole universe is appearing in that consciousness. Suppose, as we said, that the electromagnetic wave, from the Ranchi station it is coming, or Jamshedpur station it is coming. Jamshedpur mein station hai kya? It is coming. Now, when you are tuning the radio, it is manifesting as the sound. When the radio goes bad, nothing happens to the electromagnetic waves there. You can have millions of radios playing from that wave. The same wave will be appearing as millions of radios. But each radio will have its own life. If it goes bad, if a circuit breaks there, that radio will no more manifest it. Nothing happens to the Atma, that electromagnetic wave. It remains as it is. Ekas tatha sarvabhuta antaratma. This Atma is only sarvabhuta antaratma, sarvatma, it is only one Atma. Rupam rupam pratirupo bahishcha. It is becoming all the rupas and something different also. Not only the rupas, but different from that also. That let us not limit the Atma by the rupas alone. They have translated as, though one assumes a form in respect of each shape, and yet it is beyond. It goes on like that. I will just read. Vayuru yathaiko bhuvanam pravishto rupam rupam pratirupo babhuva ekas tatha sarva bhutantaratma rupam rupam pratirupo bahishcha suryo yatha sarva lokasya chakshuh. This you can recite. Suryo yatha sarva lokasya chakshuh.
Suryo yatha sarvalokasya chakshuh
न लिप्यते चाक्षुषैर्बाह्य दोषैः
न लिप्यते चाक्षुषैर्बाह्यदोषैः
एकस्तथा सर्वभूतान्तरात्मा
एकस्तथा सर्वभूतान्तरात्मा
न लिप्यते लोकदुःखेन बाह्यः
न लिप्यते लोकदुःखेन बाह्यः
सूर्यो यथा सर्वलोकस्य चक्षुः
सूर्यो यथा सर्वलोकस्य चक्षुः
न लिप्यते चाक्षुषैर्बाह्यदोषैः
न लिप्यते चाक्षुषैर्बाह्यदोषैः.
He says, as the sun is the eye for the entire world, because sun is providing the light, it is the eye for the entire world, for everybody. Sun is the eye. But it doesn't get na lipyate, it doesn't get tainted or colored by chakshushair bahya doshai. Suppose you have some eye defect, you have cataract or you have some defect in the eye, or you are color blind. Does the sunlight gets affected by that? The defect is in the object. Accordingly, it is The sunlight, there is nothing wrong in that, nothing different. It is the same sunlight, but some are seeing a color, different color. Suppose many of the animals, they may not have so many color vision also. Some see absolutely like black and white also. Some see more color also. It depends on the eyes they have. So depending on that eyes, so the sunlight is not getting affected by what the point in this verse new is that sunlight is not getting affected by the defects of the eyes. Like that, this antaratma, ekastatha sarvabhuta antaratma, na lipyate loka dukkhena bahyaha. We see that my dukkha, my sukha, I am becoming sorrowful, I am becoming happy. I never gets changed by whatever is happening. Sukha, dukkha doesn't touch that I. So it is only to make us freed of the things we are holding on to. We are wrongly holding on to things. Actually, I am the witness of everything. The mind may become a little sorrowful, the buddhi may become a little colored or dull or anything. That doesn't affect the revealer Atma at all. So what will happen in practical life when you are seeing with this witness idea? What happens in the life response also you will find the clinging, the asakti we are saying, that clinging and hatefulness, all these things will go down. There will be a detachment coming. We don't want to use the detachment. There will be an impersonality coming. Because this soul is impersonal. It is not getting tainted or affected by anything happening in the body, mind, personality or in the world. So more and more we start associating with the soul. Dukkha will be there. You will see the dukkha. Yesterday we discussed that when we are seeing the film, sorrow, tragic film, we are reading the tragic novel, we are in a way enjoying that, we are getting enriched by the tragedy. Otherwise we would not have read, we would not have seen the film. But if the same tragedy is happening in our life, then we are completely slave to it. No enrichment is there. We start wailing, crying and whatnot. This is the attachment we have to detect. Now when you find that this Atma which I am is not getting tainted by anything, you will have the same kind of a feeling as you are seeing a tragedy in the film. In tragedy at home also you will be able to take the same attitude. Although you will look after everything. If it is in your home, you have to call the doctor, you have to take the person to the hospital or cremation ground. Whatever to be done you will do. But that clinging will no more be there. You will take things as it is coming. That's natural in the world. You will understand that nothing is unnatural. Even if a small child also dies, it is part of nature. It can happen. And you will be able to take it with equipoise. That is the benefit. It goes on saying like this. The last verse in this last shloka in this chapter is what we are doing during the arati. So I will just, meaning you know mostly, I will just say. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam
भाति न चंद्र तारकम
nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyamagnihi
नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयमग्निः
तमेव भान्तमनुभूति सर्वं
तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं
तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति.
तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति.
He says that there in this truth, in this consciousness, neither there is sun nor there is Chandra Tarakam, all the luminaries. There are two meanings. One is that there is no luminary at all because it is the revealer consciousness, or you can say the consciousness cannot be revealed by the sun or the stars or the moon. They cannot show the consciousness. Not only that, even the Nema Vidyuto, the lightning also, all the sources of light, all the luminaries, lightning also cannot show it. So where is the question? Kuto ayam agni? Where is the question of this fire showing the light? So when we are doing the arati to the idol, actually arati we do to show the face of the idol clearly with the fire Arati light lamp, we are trying to show to the devotees the face of the idol. While showing, we are saying that the truth is not there. This idol is only a symbol. You cannot see the Atma or the truth or the real Godhead by this light. This Agni cannot show. Forget about the fire. Even the sun, moon, stars, they cannot show him. So how do you know it? Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. Only when that consciousness shines by its brilliance, all other things are shining. Shining means we are coming to know. Without the consciousness, we will not know the sun also. So real shining is taking place in the consciousness, by the brilliance of the Atma, brilliance of the consciousness. So whatever we are experiencing, it is only because of the brilliance of the consciousness. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. Now the next day he is comparing with the Urdhva Mula Madhashakam, that we will not do. Then going to, that is 2.3.9. A few we will do from there. 2.3.9. This is also quoted in various places. It's quite well-known verse, famous. Similar verses appear in other places also, in various Upanishads as well as other. Na sandrishe tishtati rupamasya.
न सन्दृशे तिष्ठति रूपमस्य
न चक्षुषा पश्यति कश्चनैनम्
न चक्षुषा पश्यति कश्चनैनम्
हृदा मनीषा मनसाभिक्लिप्तो
हृदा मनीषा मनसाभिक्लृप्तो
य एतद्विदुरमृतास्ते भवन्ति
य एतद्विदुरमृतास्ते भवन्ति
न सन्दृशे तिष्ठति रूपमस्य
न सन्दृशे तिष्ठति रूपमस्य
न चक्षुषा पश्यति कश्चनैनम्
न चक्षुषा पश्यति कश्चनैनम्
हृदा मनीषा मनसाभिक्लिप्तो
हृदा मनीषा मनसाभिक्लृप्तो
य एतद्विदुरमृतास्ते भवन्ति
य एतद्विदुरमृतास्ते भवन्ति.
He says, na sandrishe tishtanti rupamasya. In the whole world of vision, which we can see with the eyes, its form is not there. The rupa, the form of this Atma, is not there in the visibles, in the world of vision. That means they are talking only about vision. It is true of the other four sense organs also. In the world of sound, in the world of touch, in the world of smell, everything should be concluded from there. They are talking only about the vision. It is not to be found in the world of vision. His form does not exist within the range of vision. Na chakshusha pashyati kaschanainam. Nobody can ever see it with eyes. See, many people are deluded that Bhagavan they will see with the eyes. If we see with the eyes of Bhagavan, he becomes an object. You are seeing the Bhagavan here and not there. So it is not the real Bhagavan or the Atma. He has taken some form depending on your mindset. That is why if you are a devotee of Kali, you will see Bhagavan in the form of Kali. If you are a devotee of Shiva, you will see in the form of Shiva. That form is taken by the mind. So we say Devo Bhutva Devanapyati. That is, it is called Savikalpa Samadhi. In the Yoga Shastra, it is called Savikalpa Samadhi. That is, when you are devoted to a formed deity, some deity, some deva having a form. Then when your mind forgets the whole world, mind my word, when it forgets the whole world including your own egoistic identity, then what will the mind occupy? Only that deva. That is completely flooding your mind. There is nothing else, no two at all, that one. Here it is one, it is not transcendental. One, in that one, our worship deity, our Ishtadeva, the mind has got full. So that Deva becomes a reality before you. As you are seeing the Jagat, he becomes that is the God vision we talk about. It has to be a Savikalpa Samadhi, to have a real vision, not a dreaming vision or anything like that. To have a real vision, it has to be a Savikalpa Samadhi. Why it is called Savikalpa Samadhi? The mind is steady there. Mind is not fluctuating with the thoughts. But Savikalpa means it's a formed steadiness. The mind has taken a form and that is the steadiness. Whereas in the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, that form also is not there. It's formless. Nothing is there. So, he says that na chakshusha pashyati kaschanainam. He cannot be the Atma or the ultimate truth or God or Lord, whatever you say, he cannot be seen with the eyes. Even when a person is having a God vision, real God vision in Savikalpa Samadhi, he is not seeing with the eyes. He is seeing a form, but not with the physical eyes. His eyes are perhaps closed at that time. Perhaps no, it will be closed definitely. Generally it will be closed. He is not seeing the God appearing here with the open eyes. His closed eyes, he is finding the God alone, nothing else. You get my point? So we have to understand the words very well so that we are free of the delusion. Even in 11th chapter when Arjuna is seeing the Vishwarupa, he is not seeing with the eyes. It is a power of the Yogeshwara Krishna who is helping his consciousness, Arjuna's consciousness, to see the Vishwarupa. Vishwarupa means in all forms that everything is Lord and Lord alone. It is not a vision with the eyes. If it is a vision, physical vision, then others also would have seen. Nobody else saw. Only Sanjaya and Arjuna. And Krishna knew about it. Na chakshusha pashyati kaschanainam. Then how it is to be known if it cannot be perceived by any of the senses? Chakshusha means with any of the senses also, not only eyes, it is all. Then how can it be known? Is it not to be known? No, it can be known. He says, Ya etad viduhu, one who comes to know, viduhu, not sees with the eyes. It's not an indriya vision. It is a ikshana with the buddhi. That is, it is a vision of the understanding of prajna, of the buddhi. Ya etad viduhu amritaste bhavanti. One who knows like this, he becomes immortal. That when he knows the Atma, that Atma is not changing, imperishable. And what is the Atma? Atma is what I am. So his identity gets completely shifted from the changeful I to the immortal, unchanging, imperishable, unaffected, universal I, transcendental I. So he becomes immortal. There is no becoming there. He is immortal. He discovers that he is immortal. That is the becoming. How does he become? Hrida, Manisha, Manasa, Abhikliptaha. We have three parts of our being. Hrit means the emotional part of our being, which is always wanting something, wanting to become, wanting love, wanting to become great, wanting to get away from all the stress we are feeling. Is it all not emotional part? So Hrit we refer to the emotional center of our being. So by the Abhikliptaha is a very special word. It has many meanings, about 15-20 meanings. We take the meaning of Abhiklipta as something, maturation, purification, integration, all these words. They are all applicable here. That is, it is a process of maturation, transformation, integration of these three aspects of our being. What is that? Hrida, the emotional part of the being. That is, all the emotional constrictions, knots of the heart must get broken. So the knots of the emotional constrictions are broken. That will come here also, it is there. So Hrida means the purification of our emotional part of the being. Manisha. See, this Isha means controller. Ishvara we say. It is from the control. He is the controller of the world. That is why he is called Ishvara. So Isha means controlling, ruling. Manisha means one who is the controller of the mind. Man, Isha, who is controlling the mind, who is ruling the, who is controlling the mind? Intelligence. So actually the root of intelligence, another word is that manit. Manit means the intelligence, because it has come from the original root word. It means the controller. So manit means who is the controller of the mind. Manisha is the Tritiya Vibhakti. Manisha. That means by the maturation, perfection, integration, purification of the intelligence. That's the buddhi. Buddhi has to become Shuddha Buddhi. Shuddha Buddhi. And Manasa, and the mind. That is by a purified, maturated, integrated, transformed mind, buddhi and heart. That means emotional part of our being. A person who knows, he becomes immortal. So what is the process of knowing now? It's not that one day you sit in meditation and see and ho gaya. No. If you have a Nirvikalpa Samadhi in meditation also, no. It's not. It's only a help, only a milestone in your sadhana. Until the emotional part of our being, the intelligential part of the being and the mental part of our being, they are not purified, then this knowledge will not dawn in its full. It will not be able to clear the constrictions of the mind. That will be only an experience. You have known the Nishkriya Brahma, in the Nishkriya Atma, in the Samadhi. That you have that impersonal experience. But to change your active, interactive life, this knowledge has to dawn by the purification of these three aspects of our mind. Hridha manisha manasa avikliptaha ya etad viduhu amritaste bhavanti. One who knows by this, he becomes immortal. In our Song of the Soul or Atma Sudha, I have sung this. This is actually tuned by Rabindranath Thakur. Original tune was, I have changed it a little, from Brahma Sangit, that is from the Upanishads. He had tuned many shlokas. It is basically that tune. I have changed a little only. So there he has added this line to all the shlokas. The 4-5 stanzas are there, but everywhere he has added ya etad viduhu amritaste bhavanti. Yada panchavatishtante jnanani manasa saha buddhischana vicheshtate. You have te or ti? Some will have ti, some will have te. Both are okay. Tamahuh paramam gatim yada panchavatishtante jnanani manasa saha buddhischana vicheshtate. Tamahuh paramam gatim. That is said to be the supreme state, paramam gatim. Tam ahuhu, that means that is said by the manishis, by the knowers, to be the supreme state. What is the supreme state? Yada pancha jnanani manasa saha avatishtante. When all the 5 sense organs along with the mind remain silent. In sleep also they are remaining. In deep sleep, the indriyas are not functioning, the mind also is not functioning, but they are not awake. So whatever is happening in deep sleep, you will not know. It is a no signal state. Everything is sleeping. The buddhi is sleeping, mind is sleeping, the indriyas are sleeping. In dream state, the mind is active, buddhi also partially active, everything. In dream state, buddhi also is active. There also you will go on analyzing things. But the limbs are asleep. They are not moving in dream state. But in deep sleep, all are asleep. Here they are not saying that they are sleeping. avatishtante. They are silent. Just like now we are sitting, the legs can walk, but they are not walking. It's not that legs are sleeping. We can walk, but they are not walking. Like that, all the 5 sense organs are not functioning, not active. They are all silent, including the mind also. Also the mind. That means there is no thought. Any thought, any concept, any emotion also, if it comes, then there will be chalana in the mind. That is not there. Buddhishtana vicheshtate. Even the intelligence is not having any effort. That is this the state, is this not, or am I in samadhi, am I not? All these are buddhis cheshta. That is, buddhi also is absolutely still. Tamahu paramam gatim. That is the supreme state. Actually, that is they are talking about the nirvikalpa samadhi. It is a state. State means it is a time limited, space limited affair. You can remember that on such and such day, in such and such time, I had the nirvikalpa samadhi. It's a state limited. You get it? It's a state. After the nirvikalpa samadhi, you again come back to your wakeful ego. But the knowledge we speak about is not like that. It's not that one day you had the knowledge. It's a continuous process of, that is why this verse is coming just after the previous one. That it is a continuous process of purification, transformation of all the parts of our being, all the aspects of our being, where the knowledge starts distilling, dawning, filling us, making us aware of the reality. In Bhagavad Gita, they have given the example of the yatha dipo nivatastha nengate sopamasmita yoginaha yata chittasya. What is that? Yunyate yogamatmanaha. That when they are connected, yukta with the Atma, that is the yoga, again same samadhi, that it is like there is no wind. Air is there but no wind. A flame which will not move at all. A steady flame. Yatha dipo nivatastho. Nengate. It doesn't oscillate or move. Absolutely still. But is not the radiation coming from there? It's radiating, no? It's not moving, but the radiation can be felt. The radiation, that is why you are able to see. Here also, it is the radiation, the consciousness radiation from the soul, or of the soul, or the soul. All it. That radiation is known. That silent radiation can be felt. That is what I am. So he says that is the supreme state. But it is a state, it is not the knowledge. Then comes this shloka I have told you earlier also, 12th verse. You go to the 12th one. How much time do I have? Half an hour, no? 12th verse. Naiva vacha na manasa
Naiva vacha na manasa
praptum shakyo na chakshusha
praptum shakyo na chakshusha
astiti bravato anyatra katham tadupalabhyate naiva vacha na manasa praptum shakyo na chakshusha astiti bravato anyatra katham tadupalabhyate. This I had told you in the beginning itself, that naiva vacha, not by the words, na manasa, not by the concepts of the mind, because my concepts of the mind are all objects, it's all limited. Praptum shakyo na chakshusha, by none of the indriyas. They are saying eyes, that means not by any of the indriyas. So the truth which is not available to any of the sense perceptions and also to the mind. In some cases, earlier cases, this is atarkyam, atarkyam, that is not available to the intelligence also. Now, to know such a truth, how can you get to this truth? By not going to a person who says that it is. Asti iti. Asti iti means who says yes it is. Bruvato anyatra. A person who says that yes it is. And he knows, he can show you. He can show you mean he can guide you. Other than that, where will you go to know about it? See, yesterday also we were talking about the guide and guru, and is it not in the night perhaps? So he is only pointing out that after Uttishtata Jagrata it comes that you have to go to a person who has definitely have the certainty of guiding you to see this, because it cannot be attained by any of the sense organs. Astityevopalabdhavyah.
Astityevopalabdhavyah.
It is a little difficult. I will split it and then. Asti iti eva upalabdhavyah. Upalabdhi, you know, experience. Upalabdhavyah, that means has to be experienced, has to be known. Asti iti eva upalabdhavyah. Astityevopalabdhavyah.
Astityevopalabdhavyah.
Tattvabhavena chobhayoh.
Tattvabhavena chobhayoh.
Astityevopalabdhasya.
Astityevopalabdhasya.
Tattvabhavah prasidati.
Tattvabhavah prasidati.
He says, Asti iti eva upalabdhavyah. It has to be known as Asti. Yes, it is. Normally Asti we mean it exists. But the moment we say it exists, we have the idea of it should exist before our perception or in our thought. That means it is different from me, is it not? Something existing means I am able to know it. That only exists, otherwise we don't know, because this aparokshanubhuti is not there in English language. It is not there anywhere, except our Vedanta it is not there. So the perception, knowledge is only of two kinds. Perceptional, that is pratyaksha, and inferential, paroksha. But that which is known direct, that I am, it is neither pratyaksha nor paroksha. That I am. Are you able to see your eye with the eyes or any of the indriyas? No. Are you inferring that I am from other things? No. You know that you are. Similarly about the mind also, we know that we have a mind. So this is, it is a direct knowledge. So he says that it has to be known as Asti, as it is, but Tattvabhavena chobhayoho. This ubhayoho means of the two. That can be understood in two manners. One is that Nachiketa said, some say Asti, some say Nasti. So there are two options before us, either it is or it is not. So of the two, it has to be known as the Asti iti. Another is that of the two existence, that is, one is existing as in front of us as a material existence, objective existence. Another is the Tattvabhavena, means in the non-dual sense, where the jnana and jnata becomes the same as the non-dual experience, as the aparokshanubhuti. So that is the Tattvabhava, that it is not existing that here is the self, you can know it is. Self is there. No, it is not in that sense. See, here he is saying, Athamatyo amito bhavati etavat dhyanushasanam. This is what, up to this, the man, mortal man becomes immortal here itself. Up to this is our anushasanam, that is following the discipline given by our guru and the scriptures. This much we have learned. So I was saying that this is the last of the end of the Upanishad. Similarly in Chandogya, it is there that they are asking, where is that glory, that Atma's glory, where is that? He says that Swaya Mahimni, he himself is his glory. But he ends with Athavana, maybe not. How will you express? Because it is something beyond expression, it is not with the mind. So some such statements will be there in Upanishad, very elevated and abstract statements are there. In Brihadaranyaka also. That because our religious concept is the Atma moving from here to there, that means the personal identity will still remain when the body falls. If the Atma is moving from here to there, then after the body falls, we still have a personal identity. But generally we don't speak openly about that you don't have a personal identity after the body falls. When people will get unsettled. Actually they should not. They should understand that I am immortal. That is why it is coming. But the personal identity is not there. So when Yajnavalkya said that, then Maitri is saying, oh sir, you are confusing me. Because everywhere says that Atma goes from here to there, Atma never dies, but that doesn't mean that the personal identity will move from here to there. It is the identity of the sea, waves are coming and going. That sea identity if you have, it is immortal. But the wave identity is coming and going, it is taking birth and undergoing birth and death. Then Yajnavalkya said, the Maitri, I am not trying to confuse you, I am trying to clarify your doubts. Then again he repeats that when the body falls, Atma will not have any separate identity. Yathodakam shuddhe vishtam asiktam tadrigeva bhavati evam muner vijanata atma bhavati Gautama. That when the pure water falls into the pure water lake, it gets mixed with the pure water. There is no separate identity left. So in Mundaka Upanishad, towards the end, similar shloka is there. That is Mundaka Upanishad 2.2.8. 2.2.8. Vidyate hridaya granthihi.
भिद्यते हृदयग्रन्थिः
छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः
छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः
क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि
क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि
तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे भिद्यते हृदयग्रन्थिः
भिद्यते हृदयग्रन्थिः
छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः
छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः
क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि
क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि
तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे Tasmin drishte paravare. This is called Sati Saptami. That is, it is a conditional statement. Tasmin drishte paravare. Tasmin drishte sati. Paravare tasmin drishte sati. That means this Saptami Vibhakti is applied when it is a conditional. When one sees. Tasmin drishte paravare. That when one sees this truth or the Atma or the Brahman or the consciousness in para as well as avara. Para means high, supreme. Avara means low or small, in big as well as small. That means everywhere. When we say everywhere, we have to remember not only in meditation, in the non-meditative state also. Generally, initially, for Atma Sakshatkara, we have to go to the meditation to know the non-acting Atma. Then only we will be convinced about it. But thereafter, we have to know it in everything. We cannot miss the Atma. So it is not only a discovery in the meditation, but everywhere he sees the same Atma. That is the meaning of Tasmin Drishte Paravare. When he finds the truth in every perception, in everything, high, low, big, small, there cannot be anything without that. Then what happens? Three things happen to his life. What are the three things? Bhidyate hridaya granthihi. That means all the constrictions of our emotional being. The constrictions are all in our emotional being. I feel that I am small, I am different from others. I suffer from jealousy, I suffer from selfishness, I suffer from so many other problems are non-fulfillment. Basically it is a non-fulfillment. I suffer from non-fulfillment. That is the hridaya granthi. Non-fulfillment comes from the smallness also. When we find we are infinite, then cannot be any problem at all. Bhumaiva sukham. Chandogya Upanishad says, Na alpa sukham asti, bhumaiva sukham. In alpa, in small things, there won't be any happiness at all. We think it is happiness, it is actually a caricature of happiness. Na alpa sukham asti, the real happiness is not there in anything which is alpa, which is small, which is insufficient. Bhumaiva sukham, only when our mind becomes all-pervading, infinite, then is the real happiness. Like that, any constriction of the heart, the smallness of the heart means unfulfillment of the heart, is the Hridaya Granthi. Vidyate Hridaya Granthi, that means the Hridaya Granthi, the knot of the heart gets untied. That means he becomes free, emotionally free, infinite. Chidyante sarva samshayaha. Where are the samshayas, the doubts? Samshaya means doubts. The doubts are hosted in the intelligence, is it not? So, chidyante sarva samshayaha. All the doubts of the intelligence are vanished, gone. They are all removed. So the intelligence becomes absolutely full. There is no more further inquiry that is there, have I become self-realized, have I not? That question also will not be there. It becomes fulfilled. The emotionally he becomes fulfilled. Intelligentially he becomes fulfilled. Whatever has happened, he is absolutely fulfilled. Our small egoistic identity gets dissolved in the impersonal consciousness. You will stop. Om Sahana Vavatu.
Om Sahana Vavatu.
Sahanam Bhunaktu.
Sahano Bhunaktu.
Gone.
Sahaviryam Karavavahai. Tejasvinavadhitamastu. Ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.